My name is Lauren Luce, and the title of this talk is called Reimagining the Money Game. So the money game, what is the money game? So what I'm defining as the money game is the societal game that we're all playing, where money is points, and people are trying to achieve points because they want to have status, value, luxury, and everybody's trying to compete for the high score. You can never really actually win the money game, but there's really no cap to the score. You can keep competing in the money game. So even if you're one of the people who have the top points in the money game, you can still keep playing it. The things that get you the most points in the money game are things that really are acting in the individual best self-interest. It's like creating consumer goods and services that people want and are really in high demand. So these people are the leaders of the money game, the people who have really earned the top points in today's money game. We have Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, who, if you didn't know, I didn't know, is one of the big people behind Louis Vuitton and Sephora, a luxury makeup brand. Jeff Bezos. These are all people who've really mastered consumer goods and products and really mastered the techniques of the money game. So the money game is driven by this invisible hand, and many of you have probably already heard of the invisible hand theory. It's was developed by Adam Smith, the father of capitalism, back in the 1700s. And the idea is basically that there's this invisible hand that's coordinating the market, that's allowing consumers and businesses to communicate effectively and efficiently without anyone actually having to tell them what to do. This is because profit acts as a Schelling point. When you're creating consumer goods, profit is what everybody coordinates around. There's a lot of feedback and innovation in this space, and that's how we end up with such high-quality luxury goods and just goods and services like cell phones. Everybody's coordinating around profit with this invisible hand kind of driving the market forces. The problem with the current money game is that it is extractive. You actually get the most points in today's money game for creating private goods. So it's like you can get 1,000x for creating private goods, things that are excludable, pay to play. You need a ticket to enter. Things that are rivalrous. If I'm enjoying it, you can't enjoy it. Things that are even designed for failure. And this is actually one of my favorite points because it's something my dad taught me from being a young girl. My dad's a mechanical engineer, so when anything in my house would ever get broken, he would take it apart and fix it. And he would increasingly get frustrated because he would usually find some small component that was creating the problem. I remember him taking apart a fax machine and finding just like a small plastic wheel being the problem as to the reason why the fax machine broke, and saying, why didn't they make this out of a stronger material? Why didn't they make this out of metal? And the reason is because if products fail over time, there's this planned obsolescence, then people have to go and buy more products, and therefore businesses continue winning the money game. Public goods, however, really don't get high scores in the money game. Building things that are non-excludable, non-rivalrous, sustainable, lasting a long time, and having information distributed really doesn't earn high points. Having a public park in the city is something that everybody can enjoy, but because you can't cut off entry to certain people based on the amount they can pay and the amount of points that they can give you, then it really doesn't get very far in today's society. But public goods are things that we all need in society. So how do we get public goods? Well, in today's society, most people are turning the wheel of capitalism, and governments are providing for our collective needs. Government provide public goods like roads and infrastructure, education, medical care, public safety, taking care of our rivers and oceans, environmental causes. This is stuff taken care of by the governments, and even waste management. So governments are taking care of these things so the majority of people can continue trying to act in their own individual self-interest, driven by the invisible hand to try to get the most points in the money game. And the reason that the system is working is because we're all part of the Great Exchange. Governments provide public goods, and individuals provide their taxes and agree to follow certain rules and regulations laid out by governments. It's like the public goods sector is taken care of kind of on the side while most people are working in the private goods sector. The problem with the public goods that we have in society, though, is that they're really not meeting our needs in the most productive way possible. Public goods are created in a top-down, capital-controlled way. They are created to maintain the status quo. And one example I really like using for this is public education. So public education is provided by governments. And when kids go to school, they learn about economics, they learn about how society works today, they learn how they can enter the society and be a productive member of society, kind of continuing to turn this wheel. They're not really learning about how to add the most value for the collective and things that are actually going to lead to our long-term sustainability. Also, these cycles are lacking feedback. There's not a lot of opportunity to tell the government that you don't really like the public goods that they're providing. Don't worry, the governments will take care of the environment. Governments are taking care of our waste. They're also taking care of environmental causes, but governments' jurisdictions only extend as far as their borders. So they're only taking care of what's happening like within their own space. So anything that happens outside of that, like oceans, which are covering the entire Earth, end up kind of being like a dumping point for a lot of plastic. Like this waste problem is something I care about really deeply. And so just kind of seeing like governments are trying their best to provide the best services that they can, but they're just limited. They're limited by jurisdiction, they're limited by power, they're limited by capital, and there's not much more that they can do. So if we continue on this trajectory, if we continue playing this money game and everybody just competing to win the top scores in the systems that are laid out for us by society, we'll all lose. It's game over. It's game over for everybody because the planet can't sustain us, and our public goods aren't taking care of our communities. You can actually see this even with the top players of the money game. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are investing in space exploration. They're trying to leave the planet. So what can we do? My purpose here really is to tell you that, we can use Web3 to build new money games. We can actually flip the script and imagine if you could get the most points in a new money game for providing the most value to the collective. You could get the most points for providing public goods. And you would still get points for adding private goods, but the most points would be to the people that are taking care of the collective the best. I think that this is a really, really exciting thing and an opportunity that we have in Web3. So where do we start? When governments fail to provide public goods that are in demand, people start nonprofits. I think this is really a key point, so I'll read it again. When governments fail to provide public goods that are in demand, people start nonprofits. Nonprofits pop up to take care of things like the environment, and they beg for donations so that they can actually provide these public goods. When governments aren't adequately providing them, nonprofits are there taking the brunt of the load. The problem is that nonprofits are in a losing game. Nonprofits are begging for donations. They're like, hey, can you share with me some of your points? And in order to support public goods and support nonprofits, people are like, okay, I will sacrifice some of my points because I care about this cause. But imagine if we could change the system so that you could support nonprofits and actually gain points in a new money game. So this is where Giveth comes in. So Giveth, if you've heard of it before or not, is a donation platform. And first off, we're trying to bring nonprofits into the Web3 space so they can start getting into Web and unlocking this potential. And so we start out by making a zero-fee, peer-to-peer, no intermediary donation platform, but we want to make it so that people who are playing and interacting with the protocol can actually win the money game. So we created a program called Givebacks. With Givebacks, 100% of every donation goes to the project, always. And up to 75% of the value of this donation is actually streamed back to the donor in Give tokens over time. Give is the governance token, the token of Giveth. It's something that we created, and we're emitting to donors when they donate. So for the first time in the history of ever, you can actually support public goods projects and gain points in this micro money game that also affects the macro money game. You're actually gaining value from donating. And this has never happened before. So, thanks. So this is just the first step, but we want to even move more places with this. So the next product that we are like in the middle of launching is called Give Power. With Give Power, our mission is to make it so that you can actually support projects while earning. You're earning points, you don't have to actually give up any points at all, and you're supporting projects. The way it works is basically by staking and locking Give tokens, you earn a yield, and then you use Give Power to signal support on projects. I'll walk through that a little bit slower. I've got a couple of slides about it. So the first step is to take your Give tokens, and you might have even had Give tokens from donating to a project. You donated to a project, you got Give tokens from Givebacks. What do you do with them? You can go to our Give farm and stake in this 100% Give staking pool. At first glance, it just looks like any ordinary staking pool. I took these screenshots just a few days ago. So the minimum APR you can gain is 27.43%, and that's just by staking your tokens. And if you wanted to earn more, you could lock your tokens for up to a year and earn up to 5.2 times the multiplier. So it's if you lock your tokens into the protocol, you actually earn a multiplier on your APR. So you can get up to 142% APR. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool staking and locking program. You're like, yeah, it's great. You can get more rewards from locking, but how does this affect projects, and how does this come back to public goods? Well, at the same time as working within the earning potential, you get something called give power. The multiplier also applies to your give power, by the way. So you get something called give power. It's a non-transferable ERC20 token, which is used to vote on projects that you believe in on the platform. So when you go to a project page, you have the option of either donating, or you can boost the project with give power. So you have this give power, and you can use it to signal support for the projects you believe in. And then the top projects, as voted by the community, will get like #1 ranking or #2 ranking. All the projects will be ranked. And the top projects get additional benefits on the platform. The first benefit that projects get is increased givebacks for their donors. So if you remember, I mentioned before, when you donate to a project, you get up to 75% back of your value of your donation back streamed over time. With Give Power, the top projects that you donate to, you can actually get up to 80% of your value of donation back over time. So if you're signaling support on projects, and the new donors who give to those projects have a greater incentive to give to the projects voted by the community. Another benefit that projects will get is matching funds. So the top projects on the platform will actually get matching funds from Giveth. We have a matching pool where we're collecting funds to distribute to projects. So in this way, you can actually just stake your Give tokens, earn, and signal support for projects, and then those projects get additional benefit, and donors are incentivized to donate to those projects. So just like in summary of how Give Power works, you stake and lock Give tokens to get Give Power, you earn a yield. Then you can boost projects with Give Power, and then donors to the top projects get more givebacks. There's still donating involved in this system. It's not a perfect system yet where there's 100% win-win, but it's an opportunity for people to actually support and vote on projects and earn. This is like a major part of the Giveth roadmap, and just to kind of like walk you through it really briefly, the Giveth roadmap is starting out by the zero-fee worldwide donation platform, where we're bringing nonprofits into the Web3 space. The next is to start to flip the script on the money game and make it so that donating actually gives you points. This is givebacks. And then with Give Power, you can actually support projects while earning a yield. You can actually support projects without giving up any of your points and gain points in this micro money game. And the final place we're going with this is GERBs, where projects will actually become DAOs with their own regenerative microeconomies. I don't have so much time to go into how GERBs works, but just at a glance, GERBs will be micro money games for projects. Projects will have their own token economies, so instead of needing to donate, you could actually invest in the projects, and then when those projects are successful, gain points in the money game. We're reimagining the money game. We're making it so that you can actually earn points by adding value to public goods. And Giveth is just one example of a project doing that. If you don't take anything else away from this talk, I just want to implore you to kind of explore the idea of considering the systems that we're part of and how the systems that we're part of are built to continue us moving in the same systems, and they're not sustainable. They're not going to actually lead to a better world. We need to change the systems that we're part of in order to provide real value for society. I hope you join us in building the future of giving. I'm Lauren Luce. Thank you.